Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So we're going to talk about animation in 2024 for Star Wars, what we are going to get to enjoy this year, and also maybe make a slight correction of sorts to what we talked about with the live action stuff yesterday. So one of the things that came up, and I'm going to start there if you don't mind, with that is we talked about the Marvel series and looking at, the idea of not releasing a Marvel series and a Star Wars series at the same time, and how the Agatha Harkness series is going to be coming out later in Q4, according to the fine folks on Wikipedia who are tracking all of these, release dates and whatnot. But the thing that I overlooked when I was doing this was that they were tracking toward a Halloween release. So that actually puts it comparatively early in Q4. And so, the idea of running Skeleton Crew in Q4 in that situation makes it seem like it would happen later in the year. So it could end up being a Book of Boba Fett type scenario where the first episodes end up showing up in December of 2024 and the series actually runs into early 2025. Or they could do what they did with Hawkeye and smash it together enough so it fits in 24. Who knows? But at this point, I do think it's probably coming after the Agatha Harkness series, which means that for our animation discussion, the two major drops that we are expecting for 2024 would probably be coming in between the two live action series for Star Wars. So we have season 3 of The Bad Batch, which should be in its final stages of production by now. They did 16 episodes in previous seasons, and there's every reason to think that they would do the same thing for this one. And then we have season 2 of Tales of the Jedi, which was announced at Star Wars Celebration Europe last year. That is coming as well, but we have no information about that other than a season 2 exists. That's it. We don't know how many episodes. We don't know if it's going to be the same characters featured. We know nothing. I would imagine that it would probably be 6 episodes, 3 about 3 characters, 3 about 3 other characters, but that it won't be Ahsoka and Count Dooku this time. We'll probably get 2 different Jedi/Sith this time around. And man, oh man, can you imagine if they did that with a young Darth Sidious? Oh man, that would just blow my top. Absolutely. just a thought. Anyway, so the first year that Bad Batch came out, season 1, they released the first episode on May the 4th, and they ran the episodes through into the summer. So right now, that seems like a pretty reasonable possibility for the Bad Batch season 3 also. And then with Tales of the Jedi, the first season actually came out, I believe it was either September or October, and so it makes sense to be in that same kind of scenario after the Bad Batch, but before Skeleton Crew comes out. And I don't think there's any issue with overlapping an animated series versus a live action series with Star Wars and Marvel. So yeah, I think it's just, you don't want to have live action series conflicting with one another. So putting the 2 and 2 together, so to speak, I think the order of operations for 2024 is going to be the High Republic series, The Acolyte live action, and then the Bad Batch animated series, then Tales of the Jedi animated series, and then finally Skeleton Crew live action series. That's how I think things are going to unfold in 2024. I would love to hear what you think about that. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever. If you're catching this on YouTube, hey, comments are right there. And if you're catching an audio version of the show, then head over to the blog post for the show's episode at sw7x7.com and let me know what you think. So those are 2 animated series, the Tales of the Jedi and season 3 of the Bad Batch, that are coming out. But there is one other animated series that we know is going to have new episodes in 2024, and that is Young Jedi Adventures, the preschool aimed series that is set in the High Republic. 25 episodes of that have already dropped on Disney Plus, but according to the folks at StarWars.com, there will be more episodes in season 1, and they will be arriving in 2024. We just don't exactly know when. What we have seen from the way that they've done things so far is that they give a bunch of episodes, they drop them all on Disney Plus, but at the same time they release them once a week on their Disney Junior channel. So if you want to see them all at once, you got to go to Disney Plus. And that, as far as we know right now, is everything there is to know about Star Wars Animated Series in 2024. And of course, as news breaks over the course of the year, we'll talk about it here on the show. That's going to do it for today's episode. And if you have enjoyed this episode or any of the others that I've done over the last days, weeks, months, years, I hope you will consider subscribing or following on your favorite app, however they like to term that function. And also, please consider sharing this episode with friends, fans, and other Star Wars enthusiasts who might like to be getting a daily dose of Star Wars joy in their lives like this. And if you would also consider rating and reviewing the show on your favorite app, hey, that also helps more people find the show, and the more people that find it, the easier it is to produce this as we continue on toward the 10th anniversary of the show coming up on July 7th. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.